As someone who has been chronically homeless for the last 25 years, sometimes I forget what it's like when people become homeless for the first time or they're dealing with the lessons or the backslide of homelessness. And one of the most important lessons that I have learned being homeless, chronically homeless over the last 25 years, is the lesson of attachment. I think that that is probably the number one problem within the homeless community is the inability to walk away from attachment. This is something that I've had to learn so many different times in so many different ways that I have learned not to be attached to anything, whether it be a specific outcome, whether it be a specific result, or whether it be, personal items and things like that. Because if you really look at it, everything is temporary in life. Your life is temporary. The things in which you own is temporary. You can't take it with you, so what is the point in pining after it? But so many people end up spending their entire lives chasing after their attachment. And sometimes, just because of the way the environment is, there's just some people that cannot have or that are going to struggle to be able to have the basic necessities or what we in the modern society consider the basic necessities of living, which is, a roof over your head, water, power, indoor plumbing, climate controlled environment, all these different things we become attached to. And because we're so afraid of the unknown, what ends up happening is we let our decisions become influenced by our attachment to those basic things. Not everybody can have it, and even if it were for everybody that can have something like that, you always run the risk of having to go without at some point in time. There may be, depending upon where you're at on the economic spectrum, there may be a possibility that you end up without. You end up dispossessed of everything that you have. And if you remain attached to those items, to those things, what happens is it creates a psychological trauma or it takes a psychological toll on the human being because they are so worried about their attachment and they are so attached to that specific object that it becomes like a mourning process for them. And that can be something that people struggle with, especially the more you lose. And you might even be sitting back and thinking, hey, I don't have drug issues, I don't have mental health issues, I don't have a criminal record, I am in good standing, I work hard, I pay my bills, I do what I'm supposed to do. But just because you do all those different things does not prevent you from becoming homeless. Because again, you may do all those things and you justify uh, your status in life to be able to have those things that most people consider a basic, but in reality are luxuries in life, because these things are not we were not intended to live like this. I mean, we are creatures of nature. We go to the bathroom outside, we eat the berries and the plants and things like that. We do horticulture and we do caretaking of the land and things like that. Having all this indoor plumbing and all this other stuff is a luxury, and until it becomes a common thing for everyone to be able to have no matter what, it will always be a luxury. And so therefore your attachment to certain luxuries will influence the decisions, and then those decisions, regardless of how hard you work, of how good of a person you are, because of your attachment to those specific items or to that specific lifestyle, your attachment will influence those decisions, and those decisions could lead you down the path to becoming homeless one day. It does not mean it will happen today. It does not mean it will happen tomorrow. Now, is there a way to be able to overcome a lot of this stuff? Yes, there is. And you may not be homeless right now, and you may be asking yourself, well, how do I rid myself of attachment? Because even if, regardless of what spiritual belief you follow, all of them say you can't take this stuff with you. It's all temporary to begin with. And so when you realize that everything's temporary, that whatever it is that you need will be provided for you at a time in which you need it if you're a patient and you are waiting. Now, if you're attached to a specific outcome or a specific result, well, you're going to be disappointed, but you're going to get exactly what it is that you need in that specific time. Because there are other mechanics, other laws within the universe that are working in the background based upon what's going on up here. So by ridding yourself of attachment, by realizing that all this stuff is temporary and that anything can go away just as easy as it came, and so therefore by losing it, by letting it be destroyed and other things like that, you are removing this attachment. And by removing this attachment, when it comes time to make decisions, you're not going to be making decisions based upon a biased point of view, based upon an attachment to whatever it is that you are attached to. Now, I know that this may seem either simplistic or complex, depending upon how deep you read into what it is that I'm talking about. But if you are going to be homeless, if you end up homeless, I think the number one lesson that anybody should be looking to learn is to rid themselves of attachment, because those that do not rid themselves of attachment and become homeless end up dealing with a lot more psychological issues that have negative effects in their life, whether it be the hysteria caused from the large loss or other different things. It does take a mental toll and will start affecting not only your behavior, but your demeanor and things like that. That could be very well what we're dealing with this landlord, is that, she was so attached to so many other things that now that she's down in what she considers the dumps, just to be able to survive, she developed a lot of toxic behaviors, through her attachment. Okay, so one of the things that I have continuously learned is that I cannot be attached to anything, not even an outcome, not even a result. The things that I need will come. I just need to realize that it wasn't mine. Another thing that I use as kind of like my own little beacon to remove my attachment, and I heard this through one of the Hindu speakers, one of the monks. He was talking about how here in life, the problem that we have is we're too busy trying to control the things that are going on in our life. And by trying to control those things, we bring disharmony in our life. When we realize that we are nothing more than observers and participants, and that there is a causation chain that started way before you were born and that will continue way after you are gone. And so therefore you participate in it in your own way, but you cannot be attached to an outcome. You cannot control the outcome. Because the thing is, when you stop trying to control everything, life becomes much simpler. When you stop trying to hold on to everything that you have, life becomes simpler. Because the harder that you hold on to things, the more that you covet it, the more it will actually be ripped away from you. So that is the overall universal lesson that we as a collective society really need to learn. But on the individual level, it all really boils down to attachment. So you guys know how to help the channel. Thank you for being here. Everything's down in the description. Come on over to Patreon. Enjoy one of the many memberships I have over there. And I will see you in the next video.